Alright, got the stream up and running, so it seems anyway. Sorry for that. Moving my microphone. Now we just gotta make sure everything is working as intended. Looks like YouTube's working, so that's a good start. And Twitch is working. It's a very good thing. Okay. So, today's stream is going to be a little awkward because I am doing a lot of different things here that makes this complicated. But in short, we're going to be upgrading the Ocean War project into Unreal Engine 5 with some issues that we got to deal with. First off, a lot of the blueprints don't cleanly transfer over, so I'm gonna have to rebuild a lot of stuff from scratch. Number two, I'm screen sharing my laptop to my OBS like I did last week. So that's kind of awkward. There's like a half second delay between what I do and what you see. And finally, to add extra weirdness, I didn't like sitting. So I have this desk on my desk that lets me stand. So I've not tested the audio set up on this. Hopefully it's okay. But yeah, we're gonna get started here. First things first, we're gonna have to rebuild a lot of the core assets because I just have a blank project file. So Unreal Engine starts with this little map here. It doesn't look like it from this angle, but it's absolutely massive and a waste of space. So we're just gonna make a new level here, and we'll call this the main menu level. And then we'll make another blank level here and call it, I don't know, mission level. Save those, and then we're gonna open one of these. And as you can see, there's nothing here. So just to have some placeholders while we build the game here, put a cube, set the coordinates to 0, 0, 0. And then we're gonna get a directional light. Make sure those coordinates are 0, 0, 0. See if we can't find them. Oh, there we go. And then for the cube, we'll just make this 50 by 50. Then get a player start. We can search it here, player start. And now we get to start building everything we need for this game. So let's make a quick folder, call it Blueprints. Make another folder, call it Game Modes. And we'll start with that. So we need basic game mode. Call this menu mode. And then there's nothing in here, which is good. That's all we kind of need to just get started. Make another folder. We'll call it player P. We just need a character. Call this combat character. And we'll copy paste it. Make this the menu character. And now we're going to need to set up some inputs so we can get started on this. So we'll just go to input. We'll start with the axis mappings here. So we'll do move forward, move right, look up, and look right. Da, 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 da. So we'll start with this. This should just be keyboard W. Man, the music is so loud in my ears. Just toned down my headset. There we go. Alright. Hit the S key. Set that to -1. Move right will be with the D. And move left will be with A. -1. Look up will be mouse Y. Whoops. Mouse Y. And look right will be with mouse X. Now we actually want to set this to -1, because otherwise we get inverted controls. Cool. Let's start with the combat character then. Should be nothing in here. Yep, that's correct. So input axis, move forward, add movement input. We want to get probably a reference to the capsule would be good. Get forward vector, plug that in, and then plug this in right here. This should be all we need to do for that. Then input access, move right. Pretty much the same thing, just do that. But instead of forward vector, get right vector. Cool. Now to test this out, we can set our game mode to, we'll just temporarily use the menu mode, and then just say use our combat character. You know, it might help visually. Let's just get one more shape in here. It's 0, 0, 100. Then that should be fine. We can see the cube. We move right, we move forward, we move backwards, we move left. Movement is set up. Now we need camera controls, which does require that we have a camera. And we specifically want a third-person camera, so let's add a static mesh here. And we'll use a sphere. We'll be a sphere. And then get a... Nope. Nope. What am I looking for? Spring arm. I'm looking for a spring arm. Get the camera attached to that. Let's pull this up a little bit. And let's just test to make sure that's working. We can see it's working just fine. Input access, look up. Add rotation. Oh shoot, I'm already forgetting. Ah. I know how to do this, hold on. How about there we go. Controller, so this is look up, we want pitch. Oops. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we'll do times 0.5, so that way we can reduce the sensitivity a little bit. And then look right. Add controller yaw inputs. And then very similar here, just multiply by 0.5 so we get some reduced sensitivity, and we'll just test that out real quick. Okay, left and right is working, but up and down is not. Is it because we're not inheriting over here, actually? Nope. Use pawn control rotation. Here we go. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I would like for it to work on the spring arm though. Maybe do that. Uncheck that. There we go. Now we have third-person camera controls. Alright, now we need to adjust the movement. Movement settings. I actually do have the old project open up on my main computer here, so let me open that up. Oh shoot, this is awkward. The standing desk I have is literally right in front of the main screen, so I actually can't see. Don't mind me just dancing. Okay. This is awkward. I'm gonna be ducking. Just bear with me. Back down like this. There it is. I don't think it opened. Oh, there it is. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. So max acceleration was set to 500. Braking friction was 0.15. That's fine. That's fine. Everything else looks like it's fine. Yeah, let's just test the movement as is. Oh, the max speed is a little bit... Yeah, this doesn't feel right. There's probably still more to fix. Let's see what we got. Character movement rotation settings. Okay, that's a big one. There it is. We had that set to 25, so that's pretty good there. I did put 25, right? Okay, I see. And then orient movement to direction. That all looks the same. So awkward going through two computers like this. Looks like that's all the same. I feel like there was more that we tweaked than all this, right? Go back to the top here. Alright, so gravity scale 5, and then max acceleration is 500, braking friction is that. Yeah, no, that's all the same. I don't know, maybe as we work on this more, it'll become more apparent. At least the camera controls feel a little like it. What if I set this to 0.25? Oh yeah, I can feel that sensitivity. Okay. Anyway, that's more or less the movement started. I have to put the project on the monitor. I'm gonna try and make sure this doesn't block chat, so I can actually chat. Okay, so we have a lot of work to do to get this figured out, but let's start with small stuff like the pause menu, which we don't have. Maybe I am thinking too much ahead. Okay. Let's just make sure that everything that we need for this is set up then. We need a hurt box, I guess. There's all kinds of stuff we need to do for this. And okay. Let's take this one at a time. We need to make sure that we set up the boat's save information. Okay, so let's make our save system here. Save game object. Boat save. We'll start with the basic variables first, and then we'll go from there. So we'll go armor points, which is an integer. We need to have a wave count. Actually, we're not going to use wave counts because this is going to be a mission-based game. You know, let's just recreate what we got, and we'll go from there. We can make the other stuff later. Battleship unlocked. This is a Boolean. You know what? Just so that way we're set up for the future. Put that in the progression category. Cruiser unlocked. I'm going to duplicate this, but it's not a Boolean. PT boat bonus health. We may not end up using this variable too much later on, but it's always good to have it in case we do. Bonus health. Bonus health. Duplicate this. Cruiser bonus health. Okay, so that's the basic variables. There's some other variables we need to do. Oh, that. Okay, that just looks more intimidating than it is. Okay, so we can close this here. Single barrel cannons count. This is an integer. Really should this window so I can actually. I'm so quiet. But this microphone needs to be. Oh shoot, that arm is. Okay, apologies. I'm gonna tighten the arm on this. Yeah, that felt really loose when I touched the microphone a second ago. Okay. Single barrel cannons count. Put this under weapon stats. And I'm just. This is such a pain of a setup. I gotta come up with something better later. Okay. Single barrel cannon count. We need to do the. Whoops. Triple barrel cannons count. Torpedo count. Single barrel cannon ammo pool. Try and keep those stats together. Triple barrel cannon ammo pool. Torpedo ammo pool. I get a sip of water. Shut. Okay, now we need to do these arrays. Single barrel cannons transform. Set that to be a transform and an array. Let's put that right there. Triple barrel cannons transforms. Torpedo transforms. Okay, that's most of the weapon stats. I have another category called settings, and I genuinely can't remember what that is, but I'm pretty sure I know what that is supposed to be. Yeah, we'll come back to those. That's literally like graphic settings, and I'm trying to rebuild the base mechanics right now. Okay, so we have a combat character. We need to have a boat customization character, which I guess could be the menu character, but open full blue. Bleh, bleh. Open the full blue. You know, I don't have to talk today. I guess I could just fumble my words. That's also fine. Whatever. We have some of the boat stuff set up for the player, so maybe it might be worth going through the combat character a little bit more. Let's comment off these things here. Movement input. Put a show bubble. Camera input. Okay. So, event begin play. And then we'll set up some stuff so that way we remember to do it later. But we do need to start with creating a widget, which we will not hook up. But we will hook up... Oh, we need to make a custom event. Wow. I'm staring at this, and it's like... It's not spaghetti, but it's certainly up there. You see what I can do. Okay, so first things first, we need to load our save to get the stats and such. So move event begin play up here and start the loading process here. So custom event. We'll call this load battle, load ship. We'll call it load ship. So if you're gonna jump in the game, you should have a save slot already. So we'll do load game from slot. We'll just call it slot 1. Cast 2, boat save. Oh shit, the first thing is loading the boat choice, and that looks like a bit. We'll work it out, we'll work it out. So first things first, we need to... Do I want to make that a separate event? I don't think I want to make that a separate event. I think we could just make it a sequence. Yeah, we should probably make this whole thing a sequence. Okay. So let's get a sequence node here. Plug that up. First things first, we want to load the boat choice. So... how do we want to do this? We definitely want to start by get boat. Excuse me? Did I not add boat choice in here? I guess not. Was that not in the save? Oh, it was hidden in the weapon stats. That's silly. Okay. Whatever, man. Boat choice. File and save. Get boat choice. Okay, so the boat choice being an integer tells me that we had it as an enumeration, which we did. Oh, now I'm seeing why I made this a separate event. That is pretty complicated. Hmm. I want to see. Okay, that's out of my system. Okay, so we should have another custom event for selecting our boat's mesh. Custom event. Let's call it load boat. And well, for now we'll have it do nothing because we don't have enough stuff set up. We'll go into here. Let's call it player settings. Move the save file there. Grab the enumeration. Call it boat enum. 1, 2, 3, just to start with the boats that we already have. PT boat. Battleship and cruiser. Save that. Switch on boat enum. Add an input here, which will be an integer. We'll call it boat choice. Oh shoot, I have two events here. Load boat. Let's change load ship to something different. Load save. There we go. Now we can just plug this up right here. Oh yeah, we also changed the camera distance based on the boat model, but we don't have the boat models right now, so we'll just let it do this enumeration, do a select node. Hook it up just like that. Oh, I missed. Okay. There we go. Compile and save. What do we have an error? Break this link. Could not find a pin for parameter boat choice of load boat. Oh, maybe because... There we go. Don't know why that was an issue. Okay, so the rest of that looks like it's just... Yeah, it's just adjusting the camera placement and the size of the hurt box. So we'll go ahead and move back to the rest of the loading process here. It's going to be the guns and such. So then we want to get a branch. Get single barrel cannons count. And is it greater than 0? Yeah, that's just that simple. Greater than 0. If so, get single barrel cannons transforms. Get the last index. For loop. Break this. And then this is where we start spawning the cannons and whatnot, which we don't have yet. But we can make a placeholder actor. Let's do that. Let's make a placeholder actor. New folder, weapons. Actually, move that to the general blueprints folder, because that's going to get crowded very quickly. Let's just make an empty actor. Yeah, we'll call it turret. And then we'll just add 2 static meshes here. 1 cube, another cube, and we'll set the cubes to be like that. Actually, we'll shrink that a little bit just so it stands out a little bit. Make it more obvious that's like kind of turrety. Go to the combat character here. And then for each loop, we want to spawn actor from class turret. And we want to get the transform from the transforms array. So we can just get a copy, I think. Yeah, get a copy. Hold on. God, I love water. Okay. Get that there, get this down here. Yeah, this will probably need to be adjusted later, because I'm seeing that I had to change the coordinates. But we'll come back to that. And then we want to cast to the cannon to declare the owner and attach actor to actor. Yeah, we'll come back to all of that later, I think. Well, we can get it set up for now. It's important to get this stuff taken care of. So we'll get a custom event, declare owner. It needs an input. Input needs to be owner tag, which is a text. Okay. Oh, that's a name. Okay. What does the declare owner function? That's, hold on, that looks really strange. Okay, that's really strange. Can I set tag? Nope, okay, we'll just do new variable, call it tag. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We can just promote this to a variable. Boom. That's all we need to do there. All right, back to the player. We need to attach the actors together. Attach actor to actor. Keep relative and then keep world. Why is the first one keep relative? It must have been from some kind of bug or something. And then set single barrel and an ammo pool. We can just call it ammo pool. Set single barrel. Oh. Get single. Really? Hold on. I know what I'm doing wrong. Set ammo pool. And then we get the actual ammo pool value from the boat save. So that's probably what I need to do here. Get single barrel ammo pool. Which honestly, this probably will need to change, because this puts the ammo in the turret instead of just having the player own it. But we'll come back to that another time. Or we can do it right now. We'll have the player track how much ammo they have. And we can actually do that right now. We'll come back to it. Okay, so now we just need to basically have the same thing for all of these other ones, but I do want to test if this works as intended. So what we're going to do to test this is Single barrel cannons count, we'll do 2. Single barrel cannons array, we'll add 2 indexes here. We'll set one to 0000150. And we'll do the other one, I don't know, 100 and 150. I'm not seeing it. Although, this might also be because we're not set up correctly. Yeah, we're not. We haven't even called the load save function. So if I do load save, should we save everything? Not seeing our turrets still. So load boat happens. Then, is single barrel cannons count greater than 0? If yes, loop through the array. First index is 0, get the transform, spawn turret, attach actor to actor. Here's what we'll do. Add a print string. You can see if this is working. Okay, so this is not working. What if we break this and make this the first thing that happens? Still not working. Then begin play, load save. Oh, we don't have a save slot. That's our issue. Here's what we'll do then. Create save game object. Load save. Save game to slot. Slot 1. And then we'll add a small delay so that way it's not trying to load the save at the same time it's saving. Okay, so I see a turret. That actually might be both turrets. Here, let's adjust the transforms a bit. Let's make this more extreme. Let's do 100 here as well. Okay, so both turrets are spawning. That's a good sign. The issue now is that they're not being attached to the player. So if we go back to the combat character and maybe keep location, snap to target. Oh, you know what? I didn't self. All right, let's make this relative again. There we go. So now we know this is working. And now if I even change this to 1, we should only get 1 turret. Nope, we got 2 turrets. Oh, you know why? Because... Okay, let me walk through this real quick. So all it's checking is... I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, it hurts every time. Okay. So all this is checking is, do you have more than one single barrel cannon? And then it just goes through the transforms, which means that this number means nothing. We need to change how many transforms we have. So I know that we have this integer thing because it tracks how many turrets you can place in the boat customization. So we're going to leave that alone. And we're just going to test this by just changing how many transform arrays we have, because that's also what we change in the menu. Yep, we got 1. So if I were to add like 2 more blank ones here. Oh shoot, it's pushing us. Yeah, I think the turrets are supposed to have no collision. So just do no collision. Do no collision here as well. Yep, there we go. And then just so we can make this a little more visible. There's our 3 turrets. Okay, so all of this is working. That's the good news. We can now, oops, get rid of all of that. So now we need to work on the firing mechanisms for the turrets. That should be, I'm going to say, relatively easy. There's going to be some reworking that we need to do compared to the original blueprint graphs that we made, but we can make it work. I think last stream we did, I also changed the firing mechanism so that way instead of firing all your turrets at once, you can't see my hands. Instead of firing all turrets at once, it fires one at a time in a sequential order. Excuse me. So that's what we're going to work on here. But first, we need to set up our inputs. So we'll do shoot. Set this to left mouse button. We do want to do weapon switching, but I kind of want to save that for later. Yeah, we'll save that for later. We need to set the shooting in the turret, so custom event, fire. And just for our testing purposes, we'll do a line trace by channel. Just get the cube, get forward vector, and then, oh shoot, that's not right. Get world location, and then forward vector times a float. In this case, we'll do 500. Add those together. That makes our destination. We'll set the visibility for duration. And then just to make sure this is working, so we're gonna have to section this off. We'll call this load player arsenal. And we'll call this load player ship models. Set this on top of each other. Input action shoot. Okay. Get all actors of tag. Oh, not of tag. With tag. Something to declare owner function. Supposed to do is set the tag. If I go back up here. Oh, I didn't even put the declare owner thing in here. Whoops. Grab all this. Declare owner. Clear. Wonder if the turret has a like, I'm looking at the declare owner function in the original project, and it doesn't seem to like change its tag, like the actual actor's tag. Hold on. Okay, tag. Nope. Interesting. The shooting mechanic. Oh wait, that's the turret parent. Maybe that's my issue. If I go to the actual weapon blueprint, what do I see? Oh no, that's actually it. Okay. That's pretty strange. Hmm. There's got to be more to this that I'm missing. Event tick, actor has tag that. That's the aiming stuff. Okay, I mean, whatever, man. Alright, we'll just set up the shooting mechanics as is. So first things first, we should test that this is working. So if we go back to input action shoot, get all players with tag, all actors with tag, not players, whoops. And then it looks like we have an enumeration for our weapons, so we should get that in here. We'll leave it in the weapon stuff, it's not a big deal. Enumeration, weapons enum. Load that in here. 1, 2, 3 to get started. Single barrel cannons. Triple barrel cannons. And torpedoes. That's all we need in there. Go to our combat character and we want to loop with break. Then we want to switch on weapon enum. Select. Promote this to a variable. We'll call this, whoops. Okay, I need a new variable. Active weapon, which will be an integer. Add another pin here, set this to triple barrel cannons and torpedoes. Alright, let's see what kind of nonsense we put in here, because we may need to update this. So first off, we pass to single, well, in this case turret. Oh, and we need to check if it's reloading. So reloading, question mark. Set that to a Boolean. Make sure its default is false for testing purposes. So reloading. And then if true, do nothing. If false, want it to fire. And then if it fires, that breaks the loop. Is there not a clean way to connect this up? Maybe we can just do this. And then just so that way the player is the one keeping track of the ammo, single barrel cannon ammo pool. We'll set this to be 20 just to kind of test it out. To and Boolean. Hold on. Let me think this through. Is reloading false and ammo pool being less than or equal to 0 is also false. We want both of those to be false. Oh, we don't have cannons. Boat save. Let's just add one. 00150. Not seeing the line trace, which is not encouraging. Here, we'll just add a little print string here. Okay, we're not shooting. I think that and boolean might be set up wrong. So ammo pool not equal to 0. Nope. Okay. My music stopped too. Oh no, it's playing. Okay. Let's just not use the and boolean. And instead what we'll do is when you do input action shoot, it'll check your ammo pool before it talks to the turret. So we'll just, is it greater than 0? It's still not shooting. That's not good. Oh, because I put tag none. So that and boolean probably could have been working this whole time. Let's make sure that declare owner says player. That says player. Okay, so that's not how that works either. So something about the tag system is not set up right, probably. Set tag. Oh. Set tags. Make array. That's probably why I have that set up this way in the original project, which is a little bit embarrassing, I won't lie. Okay, we're still not shooting. Okay, so get all actors with tag player. For each loop with break, switch on enum. Current value is 0, so it should be going to 0 single barrel cannons. Is single barrel cannon ammo pool greater than 0? If yes, cast to turret. Oh, it's not even hooked up. That might be part of it. Yep. Now it's working. Okay. So now comes the question, can we do and? But do this. But we also want to check if... Right, all kinds of things. I'm not used to this mouse that I'm using for the laptop. It's kind of awkward. And we want to say equal to 0 is false. We want both of these things to be false. Hey! Cool. So now what we want to test is, let's set ammo pool to 3. And then we'll do decrement. Hook that up. We'll see if that works. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn it. Okay. Is this actually being decremented is my first question. Print string. 1, 2, 3. Yep, it's being decremented. Okay, we'll just do the check before, ammo check beforehand. It's probably better that way performance-wise. We want to make sure this is greater than 0. Alright, let's test this again. 1. Nope, now it's not working. Because this is not hooked up. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Hey, okay. Cool. Shooting's done. Okay. Oh, that really is how simple that is, huh? We do have a loot system here, which is actually dependent on the loot actor colliding with the player, so we can actually set that up real quick, because we don't need to worry about setting up the collisions here. Let's do this. Was there anything after the completed? Nope, that's it. Okay. The loot was an enum, which is kind of hindsight's 2020. But that is not particularly great. So what we're gonna do instead, I don't need this right now. I can work on the loot system without that. So what we're gonna do is create a new variable, and we're gonna call it acquired loot. Ooh, think for a second. I'm sure it's fine. No. Hold on. I'm realizing something. There's a reason it was set up that way, even if I think it's silly. So I have it say, looking at the right thing? Yeah. I have it literally reach out to your save file and increase whatever loot you pick up. Oh, because it goes straight to your weapon count. So yeah, actually keeping it an integer and an enum is not a bad idea. Okay, we'll just do that then. Custom event. Collect loot. So we have the loot based on an enumeration. We actually don't need an integer in here. We can just trash that. Add an input here, call it acquired loot. And then we need an enumeration for loot, which we can do here. Or actually, yeah, no, we do need another enumeration. That's kind of unfortunate. Loot enumeration, which we'll probably end up expanding this quite a bit once we get to later parts of development, but one thing at a time, right? Single barrel cannon. Triple barrel cannon. And torpedo. And then armor points. I want to double check something real quick, because I remember that there's a reason why we don't loot ammo in this, in the original version of the game, and I just want to like look at that real quick and see if that's worth doing. I don't think it's worth doing here, but who knows? Oh man, this setup is awful. Customization menu, here we go. Okay, so we make the player buy ammo in the Game Jam version of the build. Does that make sense to do that? I don't think it does. We'll worry about that later. We'll just keep it consistent, because we're just rebuilding the mechanics. And then if we find out that there's a better way, we'll switch to the better way. Switch on loot enumeration. Get a select node. Connect that up. Put this to torpedo and armor points. And then we'll go ahead and just mimic the system one for one here, where every time you pick up an item, We add it to your save. Oh wow, that is a lot. Hold on. What is this? What is this? Hold on. There's a variable in the lootable pickup or something in the widget called... Oh, I know what that is. Okay, so it literally just tells you what you get. I don't think we need to worry about that. Let's just get everything else set up. Load game from slots. Slot 1. Then we need to cast to the boat save. Get single barrel cannons count. And increment. Then save game to slots. And I think that's all we need to do for the moment. Oh, there's a variable called singles collected or weapons collected. And it's basically just for the results screen, which honestly is not a bad idea to get done, considering there's probably going to be a lot of loot by the time we're done with this project. Well, I say a lot. It's not going to be crazy, but it would be good to kind of keep track of that. Let's do... Man, how do I want to do this? Let's make an array. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to call this loot array. And in the description, we'll say refer to loot enum for index counts of looted objects. There we go. Cool. Now with that, index 0 will be our single barrel cannons. Index 1 will be our triple barrel cannon, torpedo, armor points, so on and so forth, as long as we add loot to the game. And what we'll do is we will get the loot array, set array element. Yeah, there we go. So that's the index we're affecting, and this is the item within. So what we need to do is increment this somehow. Get a copy. Index 0, and we'll just do increment integer. Or can we just do that? Maybe that's all we need to do. Here, we'll just we'll do a print string at the end. Just test this out. And then just to trigger this, we'll do keyboard. Let's go with 0 and do collect loot. Collect garbage. What is this? Deletes all unreferenced objects, keeping only referenced objects. This command will be queued and happen at the end of the frame. I don't know what this is, but that's funny. Collect loot. And we'll say acquired loot is 0, just to test this out. So every time we hit 0, this array index should go up in number. Nope, wrong 0. Okay, so that increment does nothing. Okay, good to know. It was worth a check. Maybe what we can do is loot array. It's set to 0. It does increment. Maybe we need to set the array. That's why. Set array element. Do that. Okay. Nothing's happening. Oh, because I'm not doing a print string. That might be why. Print string. And we'll just do that. Let's see what that does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes! Okay, that works. Good to know. So we probably want to move the save slot to the other side of this. So that way we can save how much loot was acquired in the last mission. And we're not going to load it, I don't think. To the left. We'll set that up like that. Looks a little bit like spaghetti, but you know what? I'll pretend to be Italian for today. Slide this back up. So we need to save this somehow. So maybe just oh, you know what if we just build the loot array in the boat save? That's pretty simple. Loot array. Change this to an integer. Let's just copy all that information that we saved here. Why is this freaking out so much? There we go. Paste that in there. 1, 2, 3. And then instead of doing it from the loot array, we just grab the get loot array from here. Get rid of this. Set loot array. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted actually. Set array element. And then plug that into that. And then save it to slot. So now what we can do is let's do keyboard 1. What we'll do is load game from slot, slot 1, cast to boat save, get loot array, get a copy, oops, get a copy, and then we'll print string, make sure that this is saving. Cool. Compile that and save. Alright, we're chill. There we go. Alright, so here's what we're going to test, right? We're going to load into the game, and we're going to hit 0 to trigger this collect loot function, which should increase our single barrel cannons count and our loot array to tell us what loot we've picked up. Save it to the slot. That way when we close the game and reload it, we should be able to press 1 and get the number of lootables in index 0. That should be how that works. So 0, 0, 0, 0. I hit that a few times. Now print string. I set up on the 1 key. It's 0. Okay, well, that ain't great, mate. Oh, you know why? Set loot array. Then plug it up, maybe. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Nice. So now if we close the game and reopen it. 0. Okay. Why is it 0 though? Oh, because we're creating a save game every time. Well, that's a simple fix, thankfully. Okay, so we're creating a save game every time we load the game. That's not good, right? So all we need to do to fix this is drop this down here and do does save game exist in slot 1. Do a branch. And if save game does not exist, we'll do the create save game object. Otherwise, we can do load game from slot 1, and load save. Which also means that we can probably save a lot of... We can save this a little bit of time by just doing save. Doing an object reference. Like that. Going back up here and hooking this up. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3. 3. Yep. Just that simple. Cool. There's still some stuff we need to do. We have an hour. We can work out some stuff. So let's kind of clean this up a little bit because it's all a mess. So let's highlight all this and call it shooting mechanics. Go bubble. And we'll move this up. Gotta move this somewhere spacious. Well, we can actually leave this here maybe and just move everything else. We don't need these anymore. We now know these work. And we can just kind of comment this. Call it loot system. Yeah. Compile and save. Something we're gonna have to do is every time we load into the level, we need to make sure that we reset this array, loot array, because it's only supposed to save until the player exits the level, and then it loads in the menu level when you're doing boat customization. So that way you can see, look at all the loot I got, and then close it. So that way you can add the customization. It's supposed to just track your loot for that mission. So I think at event begin play, maybe we can do it here. Cast to boat save. Get loot array. And is there like a reset? Nope. Make. I don't think make array is the right thing, but set loot array. Oh, you know what? Maybe we can use this empty one as our little reset. So just do, whoops, 1, 2, 3. We'll just reset it every time. Bam, easy. And we can even test this now. So let's give ourselves 1, 2, 3. Oh, I took it out. It's fine. You don't need to test this right this second. So we'll just call this load save and HUD, because that's what we're going to do at some point. Load player arsenal we'll put down here. Shooting mechanics we'll put down here. These are going to get fleshed out so much that this layout isn't going to stick, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Cool. So we should probably start working on the menu character and stuff, so that way we can actually do the boat customization stuff. So we'll go in here. We'll call it customization character. customization character. Then we can close this. Alright, let's get that old file back up. That's the widget. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There you are. Okay, so this one has a lot going on. What we got here? I'm not sure what that feature is for. Start customization is a custom event. Oh, that's how you load the actual like customization menu. Okay, so we'll just set that up first. Start customization. And then that goes into two custom events here, pick boat and reset loadout. The pick boat is pretty complicated, only because it also transforms the hitboxes for the turrets and the placement of the camera. But we can make this work. We don't need to do too much of this right this second, but we can get it set up for sure. So, switch on boat enum. Get the select node. How did we pick this out? Did we just kind of... Boat choice, okay. So we need a variable. Boat choice. Set to an integer. Oh, I see what this is. Boat choice. So this was, it's called pick boat. Oh shit, this needs to go up here. Custom event, pick boat. Which I don't think is an event begin play thing, right? There's event begin play. Event begin play, spawn the main menu widget and add it to the viewport. Select a random integer. Oh, okay. What we're looking at right now is... Why did I put a clamp though? Like, okay, so here's how it's set up in the original project, right? Boat, battleship, cruiser, 0 and 2. But this doesn't need to be there if the buttons are gonna be setting what that value is anyway. Like, they're not doing a +1, -1, it's just you pick a bow and it picks the number that is assigned to it. We don't need this clamp. Probably did that because I was worried about glitches, but that's kind of silly. But I'm a very silly guy, so that's kind of okay. Okay, so the boats are skeletal meshes. That's cool. Not much we can really do from here without the widgets. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. There's a reset loadout thing. I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to keep this function, because what it effectively does is remove all your weapons from the boat, which if you're playing the game jam build of the game is fine, because it's a roguelike. You want to be able to just throw together some customization real fast and jump into the level. But for the intended version of this project, the intention with this version of the project, that's much better. We're trying to make a game structured more like Earth Defense Force. So having the game reset your loadout every single time you finish a level would be kind of annoying. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the reset loadout function, but I'm going to not call for it when the character spawns. Instead, I'll have it be a button the player can hit, so that way they can reset their loadouts, which means we're gonna have to do some work on the back end on the loading the player's loadout in the customization menu, but that's not a big deal. It's actually pretty light work, honestly. So we'll leave these two alone and just kind of scroll down here and set up a custom event and do reset loadout. And what we do is load came from slot 1, cast to boat save, and then for each loop. Excuse me? Oh, right. For each loop, get single barrel cannons transforms array. And we do remove index. Oops. Why is it doing make array? Oh. We just do this. So what this effectively does is when you call on the reset loadout, it's going to ask your save slot, you know, hey, show me your entire array of single barrel cannon transforms. So you can see there's one array element here, but for the sake of the example, let's pretend there's 3. Now it's going to go through this and say array index 1, which will be our first cannon, coordinates, you know, remove yourself from the array. Then it's going to go down to array number 1, array number 2, until there's no more cannons in the array. And then once that's done, next time you try to load into a mission without any modifications, you'll have no turrets because there's nothing in this array. So that's pretty neat. So now we just need to do that for each of the weapon transforms, starting with the triple barrel cannons. Yeah, just get the value. Remove index. Get a sip of water. We've been streaming for about, what, an hour now? I have not been drinking much water. Oh, much better. Okay, and then we just need to do this one more time for now. I emphasize for now, because as we add more weapons to the project, we're gonna need to do this a lot more frequently until I can learn of a way to do this more conveniently, which probably is like really straightforward if you know the correct nodes, but we'll learn as we go. We always learn as we go here. Compile and save. Okay. Let's go ahead and comment this out too. Reset player loadout. Okay, so I think the only other thing we haven't done yet is make it to where the turrets face where the player is aiming. That's not true. We haven't even added the actual bow customization. I'm talking way too fast here. So I'm zooming out on our graph here. Excuse me. There's 2 critical things we haven't done yet, which is implement the actual customization of placing weapons on your boat and saving your boat's loadout. So let's get that set up. We'll start with the saving part because that's going to be pretty easy. So saving the loadout, we'll do it below the reset, just so that way it's easy to see what it is. Save player loadout. So we'll just go here. Oops, load save from slot. Slot 1. Cast to boat save. And then, oh shoot, that's complicated very fast, isn't it? Hold on, I need to stare at this a second just so I see what I'm doing here. Why does this not reflect what I'm seeing here? Oh, you know what? It's because I'm not holding the window all the way up. Yep. Okay, yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to make a variable. Single barrel cannon transform array. Because what we did in the original project, and we're gonna keep doing it here, is we keep a local save of the transform that we have assigned to each turret. And that allows us to basically add and remove weapons from the array freely without having to call on the save file every time we click a button. Then, when we deploy into the mission, we actually save the player loadout. So that's what we're going to do here. So let me go back to the save function here. Yeah, that's actually really straightforward. So all we need to do is set single barrel cannon transforms and hook this up. That's simple. And then we just need to do that for each of the transforms. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So we'll do the triple barrel cannon transforms. Oops, I did the get. We need to do the set. Set triple barrel cannon transforms. And then what we'll do, just to speed up the process, we'll promote that to a variable and set it like that. And then just to make this look a little bit cleaner, we'll have these be placed kind of above each one of these. And then set torpedo transforms. Promote that to a variable. There we go. Compile, save everything. I think there's a couple more things we still need to do. I saved the, oh, boat choice. Yeah, that's gonna kind of be important, isn't it? Let's slide that back here, slide this back here as well. Set boat choice. That's gonna be critical. Is boat choice a variable? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're good. We just need to plug this up. Just like that. I think that's all we really need to do. And then just save game to slot. Save game to slot. Slot 1. There we go. Cool. Yeah, now we need to actually do the spawning stuff. Oh. Left mouse button. Actually, I can probably use input shoot because it's going to have its own functionality within this character. So that simplifies things quite a bit. Get mouse position. Actually, I learned of a better way to do this recently. Because originally what I did was, here, I'll show you what I originally did. Get mouse, oops. Get mouse position on platform. Project screen to world, get player controller. Hold on. Line trace by channel, world position, and then it was world direction times a float. Let's say 1000 for this example here. plus. Okay, so this is what I had originally in the old project file, right? So if we were to, hold on, we actually need to do one more thing. We need to add a camera. And then we'll make it face down. Drag it up. And then we'll add a quick static mesh just so we can see our player. Cool. So go here, change this to customization character and start. Oh, it's not showing our mouse. I know why. It's just kind of annoying. We need to go to player. We'll just make a very quick player controller, customization controller. And the only thing we need to do in here is just set show mouse cursor to true, compile and save, close that, change this. And you can see by doing that deproject, it's not where the mouse should be, right? So what we actually need to do is, shoot, I hope I remember this as well as I'm thinking I'm doing. Get mouse. Was it viewport? I don't think it's viewport either. I'm trying to remember. Deproject is not the right tool, is point. Yeah, because this is also not correct. You're supposed to do something completely different, and I'm already forgetting. Get mouse position. Shoot, I don't remember. There's a better way to do this, and I've already forgotten, and it really hurts because I literally spent like an hour figuring this out in another project, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I know how to do this now. No, I don't remember. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess I don't remember. I might have to go back through my other project files and find it later. Mouse. It might not even be a mouse thing, honestly. I could just be totally missing it. Shoot. Whatever. Let's just use the wrong method just for testing purposes, because we want to make sure that we can actually spawn the turrets on the right place anyway. So what we did here is we broke out the hit result. And we made sure that the hit actor was equal to self. We're gonna skip that step, actually, just so that way we can test this out. So impact point, make transform. And we're going to skip that step as well. The step I'm skipping here is casting to the boat customization widget and saying we used up a single barrel cannon. We can set that up later. What we need is spawn actor from class turret. Plug in that spawn transform there. There's another step here where basically the turret checks itself to see if it's hitting anything. And if it is, it checks off a boolean called placement conflict, and it destroys itself and refunds the single barrel cannon count. But we're gonna skip that for just a second. I'm gonna declare owner. Set it to player. And then we're going to get the single barrel cannon transforms array and add this transform right here. And then that gets cast back to the boat to spend the currency? Spend the placement. So we do have a save slot right now because of all the testing we did earlier. So what we can do is spam this button a couple times and then switch the character later and see if it actually remembers our transforms array. So let's do that. We'll do one here, one here, one here. So that's 3 turrets around the player. So if we now change the character, it should, in theory, load those turrets in the same places. Nah, we don't need to change the controller, it's not a big deal. Okay, I see 1 turret, and that is wrong. We should see 3 turrets. But what did we do wrong? Scroll through here. Make transform. Plug it into the spawn actor node. And then add. And now that should be everything we need to do. Oh, we didn't save. This is not being called upon. Save player loadout. We need to do that. So save loadout. So compile and save. So now all we should do is customization character. So we'll do a turret here, here, and here. Close the game. Swap out the characters. I see the shadow of a turret. Ah, okay. The turrets are spawned behind us. I think it's because... Shoot, why would that be the reason? Here, let's get the customization actor, and we'll also load up the combat character. Okay, so the forward vector camera is currently placed on the spring arms location is 00050. This camera's placement is really strange. Oh, the rotation is also kind of awkward. That shouldn't be wrong, though. What if we do 0 here? Oh, shoot. Okay, I see the issue. We want to unparent that. Okay, so the X... Maybe that should be 180, actually. That's 180. Negative 90. 0. What is your problem? 0. Okay. Let's... Customization character. We'll do 1 here. So in theory, it should be a turret spawned on our left facing the player. So if we switch this to combat character, it spawned behind us facing left. Okay. So the transform is basically negative spaces behind the player for whatever reason. What if we just fix that by scooting this up a little bit. Oh, that's wrong. Change the character back to the customization. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. One in front, one on the left. Uh-oh. Oh no, don't crash. Please don't crash. Oh god. Hold on, is it still streaming? My mouse? Okay, so my computer is fine. It's on rails, crashing. Oh, it's gonna crash hard, isn't it? Might as well pour myself a glass of water while we're waiting, I guess. Haven't been drinking enough this stream. Yeah, I think I might have to task manager this. There it is, Unreal Editor. Unreal Engine, get that back up and going. Oh, yeah, I have a copy of all my itch.io projects saved here. They're not the editor version project files, but they're more like the export versions that you can get on itch. I have them saved here because my family hasn't really seen most of them. Well, I mean, maybe they've seen them, but they haven't played them. And it's just kind of fun to have it on hand to kind of be nostalgic about. I also plan on, oh, excuse me. One of the, oh, my neck. Ow. Ow, ow. Oh, hold on. Okay. Oh. Shoot. Okay. One of the micro projects I'm gonna be working on is making like YouTube shorts of these projects, just to that way they have a little bit of traction on itch. It's not gonna be anything crazy. It's just kind of like, think of them like really cheap gameplay trailers, like very minimal, just snippet edits with music in the background for YouTube shorts. Because I haven't worked on YouTube shorts in a couple months, and it's really killed my momentum on YouTube, which is, I get what I deserve. Unreal Editor detected that it did not shut down cleanly, and the following package have autosaves associated with them. Would you like to restore these autosaves? Sure. They could not be successfully checked out from revision control. Okay. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, that's concerning. Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, everything's here. I know what the issue is. So if we go back to the main menu level, yep, everything's here. Everything's here. What's really going on is I haven't touched. Oh my god, I haven't changed the editor's settings. It'll always try to open this default world, and I don't want that. So we'll just set that up like that, so that way we don't have that issue moving forward. Anyway, let's check if it saved our edits here. Okay, so saving is still the same. Did it save our camera change? No, it did not. Okay, so that's where we're at. I don't think moving the camera is going to actually fix anything, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit, because it's still going off based on where the player clicked. And where the player clicked is going to be based on what they visually see. So changing the visuals doesn't really change anything. Like if I do that, right? And then just change the combat character, it's still going to load that in the wrong place. Yeah, see, that's still in the wrong place. So what we really need to do is not change the camera placement, but change the transform a little bit. Impact point, location, make that into a transform. I guess my question is, why would the transform be so radically different if the player is spawning at the same coordinates? Yeah, that's still 0, 0, so it's not like that should change anything. And it's loading directly the transform and placing it directly where the transform was last recorded. What if we change this to keep world? Or, yeah, keep world. I don't think that's going to change anything, but maybe. Oh, that did change where it spawned. Okay, so now the question is that better or worse than what we had before? So if we change this back to customization. Okay, that looks like that's above ground, right? But that looks like it's below ground. So keep world is not correct either. What if we do snap to target? Okay, that just spawns the turret in the player. So no, not that. Keep world. Okay, we got some of it right, but we're still not quite 100%. We literally have not moved the sphere, and the cube has not moved. Why is it triple dotting? I don't think that's gonna contribute anything, but you never know. It looks like we're doing everything right, and yet it's still spawning at the wrong elevation. Would there be a reason that it would be spawning at the wrong elevation? That's the real question. Here, let's just let's do a small change. Because something I want to do is test this a lot faster. Call this mission level. And then just for our purposes here, keyboard, let's do 0 again. That'll be our testing button from now on. Open level by object reference and change that to mission level. And then just to make sure we're set up correctly here, we'll go into the mission level here, save selected. And the mission level, we will set we'll do an override. Menu mode, and then we'll override the player character to be combat character, and then set the default character to be the customization character. Save that. Jump back into the main menu. And change this to, oh no, it's already there. So, put a turret on the left, put a turret on the right. So that's close to the body, that's far from the body. Hit 0. We're still the customization character. Okay, that's not good. Maybe we do need a different mode. Just copy paste this. Call this the combat mode. Then just go into here and change the settings to be the player controller and combat character. That should be all we need to do. So 1 on the left, 1 on the right, 0. That's still not loading correctly. Okay, what are we doing wrong here? Go to the mission level. Change the game mode to combat mode. Maybe that's all we need to do. Yep, that was all we need to do. And it is still spawning below us, which is really unfortunate. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Maybe what we can do to kind of help this is go over here. So we go to the impact point, right? Because the impact location is technically correct. The issue is that it's too low. So maybe we can do a vector plus vector and do plus 100. Actually, let's do plus 50 just to start. See if that helps our case. Go back to the menu level. Let's customize left and right. Hit 0. Yep, plus 50 seems to be a decent number for that, actually. It still might be too low. Let's try 60 just for testing purposes here. So we'll do front and back. Okay, now they're slightly hovering, which is good, honestly. That's kind of fine. Okay, so plus 50 is going to be our go-to for adjusting the height placement of the turrets moving forward. At least they seem to be moving in the right direction. So let's set that back to plus 50. And that'll be our placeholder function for spawning the customization until we can get the actual assets and counts in place. So we'll save player loadout. We can get rid of this. We'll hold on to the load level thing because we may need to test stuff later. Place turrets on boat. Compile and save. Let's drink some more water. Okay, so we got the boat customization already kind of working. We got the loadout saving process working. We got the reset loadout implemented but not tested. That's something we're gonna have to do at some point. I guess we can test it now. 0 is our testing button. So what if we make keyboard? Spelled keyboard wrong. Let's make number 1 our testing key for reset loadout. So just to show that this is working, right? We're in the menu level, hit 0. And it remembers the turrets that we spawned previously. So if we go back to the main menu and hit 1, that should reset our loadout. So now if we press 0, we still have our turrets. Okay, so that's clearly not working. Reset loadout. Load gate from slot for each loop. Do this, and this. Oh, you know what we're not doing at the end of all this? Save loadout. Kind of important. Here, let's drop this down a little bit so it's more obvious. Compile and save. So now, if we test this, right? Hit 0, we have our turrets. Hit 1 and then 0, we lost our turrets. There we go. Now we know this works. It's the simple things that you forget about that's gonna screw you over one day. It's always the simple stuff that screws you over. Alright, well, we're kind of running low on time. And I forgot about my... This is gonna be awkward. My chair. I'll try and adjust the webcam. Bear with me. Ah! Here's what we're gonna do. Let's bring this camera down. Okay. We need to open our Word document managing or tracking our changes here. Oh, my microphone's facing the wrong way. Can you hear me now? There's the design document, but where's our progress document? Shoot, I don't even remember. Let's pretend it's the design document. God, this is so awkward. I can't use my primary monitor because my laptop is blocking it. I need to come up with a smarter way to set this up for the future, but I definitely won't have time to do that tomorrow. Okay, roll down, all the way down. Oh shoot, yeah, okay, so this is where we're tracking our changes. Let me see if I can get the file on screen for you guys. Yeah, we can use this window. We'll repurpose this. Is this it? Yeah, that looks like it. So now if I load this on screen... Oh man, that's lovely. I'm glad that's working as intended. I honestly can't tell if it's working. Definitely not working. Okay. What if we do... It'll be so dumb if this works. What if I try to capture this Word document through a game capture? Create a Word document. Oh, that's definitely not working. Oh, it's working. Oh my god, it's working. What the hell? Oh my god, and it's so smooth. What the hell? I mean, sure, man. Sure. When was the last time we worked on this game? Oh my god, it's been so long. Well, I mean, not horribly long, but just long enough to be kind of awkward, right? So, okay, time to update the Word document, I guess. Now I have that saved to OBS. Shoot. Today is April. Oops. April 08 2026. Save this progress here. How do I have this set up? Things we do in Blender and things we did in Unreal. Okay. We did everything in Unreal Engine today, so that kind of simplifies things. Unreal Engine, and here's what we're gonna do. We're going to hit this button here and say, began work on, how about just began transition from Unreal Engine 4.27 to Unreal Engine 5.6 via full project rebuild. And then we'll just cover our implementations here. I still have the laptop open, so I can kind of glance at that. So let's start with the created levels. So created main, let's make sure these stand out. Main menu level. And mission level. Is it just called mission level? Am I crazy? Yeah, it's just called mission level. Excuse me. Wow, I don't think the webcam is actually facing the right way. Hopefully that's slightly better. God, this is looking like such a mess. Now it's slightly better. I can't see my mouse on the window capture. Oh, there it is. We created our characters. So created combat character. It might actually be worth separating these actually. Yeah, and here's why. We'll open the combat character. And we'll just start running through what we implemented. So we implemented movement inputs. How about movement and camera inputs? Implemented load save game functionality, which includes boat choice, and single barrel cannon transforms array. That's pretty much all it's loading in, right? Yeah, that's all it's loading right now. Go back a step. Implemented. Whoops. My hands were not on the keyboard correctly. Implemented shooting mechanics based on player tag for weapon actors. Implemented loot system. Do we want to go in depth on that? I don't think we need to go that in depth on this, do we? We'll add a little subtitle. Saves acquired loot and loot count in mission. How about saves acquired loot to weapon arsenal? How about just player, I cannot spell today, player inventory and loot count in within mission. There. At least now I have a chance at understanding what I'm talking about. Was there any other mechanics that we implemented in the combat player? I don't think we really did anything else. Yeah, it doesn't look like we did anything else here. So yeah, we can move on to the customization character. Implemented customization. Oh, not implemented. Whoops. Go back one more step, I think, right? Yeah. Created customization character. That's one word. Oh my god. Okay, so what did we implement in the customization character? A lot. Like a lot. But we can work through this together. So reset player loadout function. Save player loadout function. And turret placement function. We also created combat controller, and I'm gonna forget what that one was called. Customization controller. Oh, I actually didn't make the combat controller. Hold on. Here, let me hide the Word document. Here's what we're gonna do. Control C, Control V. Open this up. Hide, show mouse cursor. Compile and save. And then open the content drawer again. Combat controller. And then we need to go to the game mode. Why aren't you opening? Oh, because you're already open. Change that to combat controller. Compile, save. That's all we needed to do. What the ship? Nice one. Un-American. I'm gonna do my best to read your name. Hold on. I gotta really focus up here. Un-American Chezesburger. That is quite the name. That is quite the name. Anyway, back to the Word document. Is it gonna load? Oh, OBS, please. Oh my god, that takes so long. Okay, now that we got those controllers set up, customization controller. Was there anything else that we did that I'm not documenting? We created the main menu and mission levels, created combat character with implemented movement and camera inputs, load save game functionality, load choice single barrel kind of transforms array, went to cheating mechanics based on player tag for weapon actors, implemented loot system, saves acquired, loot system. I thought we just say loot and save systems because that's what essentially they are. Create a customization character, reset player loadout function, save player loadout function, and turret placement function. Rudimentary implementation of spawn turrets on mouse cursor line trace location. Cause I say rudimentary because, as I mentioned earlier, that's not the right way to do it, but I also don't remember what the right way to do it is, and I can't see my right mouse context off. I spelled rudimentary wrong. There it is. Okay, save player loadout function, saves transform arrays for player weapon placements to be loaded during mission. And then reset is very simple. Clears transform arrays for all weapons spawned. I'm realizing though, we're gonna have to do something really, really fast. I'm so glad I caught this just by reading that. Essentially, if we go back to our customization character, right? When we reset our loadout, like, yeah, we're resetting the transforms array, but there's a key issue with that implementation. So one is our index for, or not index, our input for resetting the placement of the guns for the ship. So if we go into the menu level and hit play, right? Let's say we place a turret. We place a turret there, and we hit the 1 key to reset our loadout. That turret is still there. It doesn't go anywhere. So what we want to do, because we're going to make this a button during customization, is we're also going to can we get an actor based on transform? Get actor? Nope. Okay, so we're just gonna have to also get all actors with tag player. Oh shoot, that's dangerous because the player will have the player tag. Oh wait, no, that's fine, because what we can do to dodge that issue is... Hold on, I gotta think really carefully about what order we want to do this in. Maybe we'll do this at the end. Here, just drag this out. Get all actor... Oh, it does actors of class with tag. Okay. So what we'll do is cut that back here. We'll do this before each loop, essentially. So first off, we want to make sure that we get Oh, we're gonna have to do a for loop for this. Oh my god, this is gonna get so spaghetti very fast. Okay, I'm gonna stand back up for this. Get the camera facing the right way. Get the microphone the right way. Apologies if you hear me moving the mic. Might need to tighten the arm on this again. There we go. Okay, so what we need to do is another for each loop. This is gonna get so messy. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to move reset loadout to way over here on the right, so we can get to work without worrying about space. Grab all of this and drag that straight down. So, get all turret actors with the tag player, and then destroy actor. And once all actors of turret with the tag player are destroyed, then we can start cleaning up the transforms array that we've created. And now we need to do this for each one of these, which, you know, it could be worse. So just copy that, paste this down here, and then set the completed to go here instead. And we'll make this a little staircase, because why not? For loop. Destroy actor. And we'll leave the actor set as turret for now. Once we actually make the actual child actors of the turrets based on the weapons that we're planning to implement, that's when we'll change these actor classes out to match what we're trying to get rid of here. So once completed, then we can go into the triple barrel cannon transforms array and get rid of those. And then finally, just, you know what, just do this one more time. Grab all these, drag them to the right, paste this down here. And that should do it. So now if we test this, theoretically, make sure that we get this comment bubble capturing all of this. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to test this out by first using our input to place a turret in the player's area, right? And add it to the array, which is going to automatically save it to the loadout. What we're going to do is press the 1 key to reset the loadout. And what that will do is it's going to load our game save slot and pull these transform arrays. But before it does any of that, it's going to see how many actors that are turrets have the player tag, which we establish during the turret placement. When it's spawned, we tell it to do the declare owner function, where it gives itself the tag player. Anyway, if it has that tag player, because we gave it that tag, it will now destroy itself. Then it'll clean out the transforms array, so that way this doesn't get carried over into the next level. So, to showcase that this works as intended, we're in the main menu level, so we're going to spawn a turret on the left, and we're going to hit 1. And look at that, the turret is gone, right? But we want to make sure this doesn't carry over to the next level. So we bound opening the next level to number 0. I'm going to press that, and we have a turret on the left. Ah! But why? Reset loadout. Destroy actor. Get the single barrel cannon transforms array. Once completed for each loop, do that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Print string. And we'll set this to destroy. Then we'll add another print string. Not you! Add another print string. We're already over our time limit. I need to stop, but we're gonna keep going. And we're gonna say array. Just to make sure this is working as I think it's supposed to be working. Because if it's not, then we'll have to figure this out tomorrow. Okay, I place a turret on the left. And then I hit 1. Okay, so that is working as intended. But when I hit 0, it still spawns the turret there. It should be saving the changes. Just in case, I'm gonna go to our save file and make sure that transforms array is set to be empty. It's not. Okay, that might be part of the problem. Alright, let's spawn a turret on the right this time. Press 1. There we go, now it's actually visible. Press 1. Okay. Now if we press 0, it still spawned both turrets on the right. What is your problem? I need to stop. But I'm pretty sure this is an easy fix, and it's gonna bother me. Save player loadout. What if... I don't want to save player loadout every time we complete a loop, though. That sounds like a waste. That sounds like it would be CPU intensive for no reason. Well, not intensive, but it would be dumb. Oh, I wonder if because this is not finding any actors, it fails automatically. That shouldn't be how that works, but just in case, we're gonna save the loadout early. So essentially, it's gonna check for turrets only once, destroy them, and then clear out the transforms array, and then save. That should not be the solution, but we will see. We'll spawn a turret on the upper right. You see that there, press 1. Array, destroy, cool. And it still spawned! What is your problem? Man, what is your problem? Here. Are you actually saving? That's the next question. Are you actually saving? Okay, you saved? Okay, you saved. Then what is your problem? I don't understand why you are struggling to understand that I need you to remove the index. You're supposed to do that for each index you have in your array. I don't see why this is complicated for you. I need to stop. I need to stop. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to stop for today. I'll put it in my notes. I'll put it in my notes. Just... God. Let me bring the microphone back down. Ugh. Alright, let's get that Word document back up here. There's transforms array for all weapons spawned and destroys the relevant actors. Note. Hold on. Note. Currently not saving the deletion of transform array. Needs investigation. And then just so that way this is visible when I boot this document up tomorrow. I did underline it, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, I just can't see it from here. Ah! That's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Oh, I didn't even talk about the save file. Created boat save object. There's enumerations that we made, but I don't think we need to get that nitty-gritty. Oh, the turret, right. Created turret. Created turret actor for testing. Well, that's gonna have to be all we got done today. We got stuff to do tomorrow. We need to fix this bug. And then we need to start implementing the actual combat mechanics, you know, having the turrets aim where the player is aiming while clamping their pitch rotation so that way they don't point into the ground. We need to carry over the ammo system. We need to carry over the models. And by carry over, I kind of want to redo them. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we need to redo the turrets since we worked on that last stream, right? Last stream, probably. But yeah, there's still some work to do, but I think we can get a lot of it done tomorrow. Assuming, big assumption, but assuming the save file bug doesn't carry over tomorrow. But yep, that's gonna have to be it for today's stream. Thanks everyone who tuned in and lurked. You know, it's always appreciated. Hopefully, as this game project gets further along, you'll feel the same excitement I have for this game being in development. And yeah, hopefully you'll join me on this journey. I'll see you all later.